Qasim Rashid is in the house. Before we went to break, we were talking about what if you're not Muslim, who are you?
Well, so the backstory is the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is unique because we have this dogmatic difference in belief. There's a belief, and so here's a 10-second version of it. There's books written on this stuff, but most Muslims believe Jesus will physically come from heaven and wage this war against evil people and, make Islam victorious through some kind of a violent war. We reject this concept altogether. We think that Jesus was a prophet. He died a natural death. The founder of our community, a man named Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, we believe he is that awaited Messiah who came to revive faith through logic, through love, through understanding, and to reunite humanity through these principles of service to humanity. Because of this belief in the Messiah, the fundamentalist clerics of Pakistan have decided that we are not Muslim and we deserve death for our belief. So we can't say Assalamu alaikum. We can't make the call to prayer. We can't perform the Hajj pilgrimage from Pakistan. We can't build mosques. We can't congregate. All of our books are banned. We have no freedom of assembly. We have no freedom of association. We can't vote. We can't run for office. It is apartheid conditions in Pakistan for the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. And this has been going on now for about 40 years. And what's truly tragic about it is that this is metastasizing and is growing. So countries like Indonesia and Malaysia and Saudi Arabia, even, this part pains me to say it, but even in Gaza, where the Gazans are suffering horrific persecution under an occupation, are persecuting Gazans who are Ahmadiyya Muslims.
But isn't that the system that it was designed? So I look at you. Yeah. I look at you. And we're friends. You participate. You're part of our family here on Urban View. But I struggle right now because the more I read, the more I no longer can give a pass to people. I can no longer, not say the things that I want to say. So I look at you. I see Pakistani. I see Indian. I see a culture that very much preached hatred towards black people, or at least practiced it.
Yeah.
Gandhi, who was the, many people say the purveyor of the civil rights movement's nonviolent push, was a racist.
Yeah.
who said some really horrific things about Africans.
Yeah.
So I struggle. Two things could be true. Gandhi could be a great person in terms of leadership and revolutionary, and be a hateful racist at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum. I don't know how to come to a reckoning, but I want to ask you, as a person from a culture who is now persecuted, when did it first show up for you that this bias existed among your folk? Well,
for me, I was still young when we came to the United States. This was in the mid-1980s. And at that time, the death for blasphemy and the death to Ahmadi laws.
I'm talking about black people.
Oh, the recognition that there were. See,
so from your.
So let me show you something else about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. We've been here now since 1920. At the height of the Jim Crow movement in the United States, our first missionary, who was an Indian missionary, came and established a mission on the south side of Chicago. It's the oldest mosque in the country. And you can go look at the Muslim Sunrise articles that were written back then, 100 years ago, condemning Jim Crow. Pictures of black Americans and white Americans praying together in the mosque. Black Americans sitting up front, white Americans sitting behind them, white Americans up front, black Americans behind them. So from the get-go, we've been blessed that the leadership of our community has been adamant and condemned this kind of racism. Now, within the broader Muslim community in general, there's absolutely this cancer among South Asians that I can tell you of this belief that dark-skinned is bad, light-skinned is good.
Yeah, but
I'm a darker-skinned South Asian, right? So growing up, compared to a lot, I'm darker-skinned than most. But so growing up, I was made fun of within my own community for having darker skin by my fellow Muslims as well.
What do they say to you?
So I mean, black sheep, black you name it. I mean, it was, and I'm not even super black, but
no, you're not. You look like a light-skinned Puerto Rican.
But if you, but if you look at, there's some very fair-skinned Pakistanis as well. And so even in Pakistani culture now, I mean, just last.
But I'm saying
month,
the whole caste system. That's what I'm
is.
saying. Like, some European indoctrinated you, right, into this notion of whiteness and blackness that you then carry forward in a very virulent manner. Like, we still do it to one another.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, black people had brown paper bag tests
to
get into organizations and sororities and fraternities. It's to me, like, I don't know at what point, and we still carry a lot of that. But there are Puerto Ricans that don't want their kids to marry a Negro. Like, hello, Dominicans that won't admit that they're black. What? Are you kidding me?
Sammy Sosa?
Well, he's not black anymore.
Yeah,
he's like
I know.
pink. He's like Pepto-Bismol color. Yeah. But you're on the same island with the Haitians, and you hate the Haitians. Like, it's so weird to me that we've allowed a colonizing force to so divide us that we do horrific things to one another. When I think about what happened in Rwanda, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Really? You killed your cousins because some white person on the radio said that this person was your enemy and you were okay with it because you hate yourself so much? I don't know how to get over that, but it pains me because we need all hands on deck.
I don't think we should get over it. I think we should acknowledge it, recognize that it exists, and keep calling it out until people begin to the next generation begins to elevate themselves and move beyond that. I mean, the racism that's in South Asia is for two reasons. One, because of British imperialism, but people forget the caste system
predates that. What was that about?
I mean, that's like, more of a...
What was that? You're untouchable, like, forever.
That's more of a Hindu cultural exchange. But, I mean, the reality is that precedes the cat. And so when you have these imperialists come in, it just kind of revalidated that. It just kind of reaffirmed that, and at least in that part of the country. And they're still struggling. Whitening creams are $1 billion industry in Pakistan right now because of that.
In Pakistan?
Yeah.
And in Africa?
Yeah.
And in China?
Yeah.
People are whitening their skin.
Yep.
As if... And they look crazy. By the
Absolutely
way,
crazy.
Y'all don't look right. I just want y'all to know, y'all lightening your skin. Y'all look pink. You look like the lab rats. It's not a nice look. It's not sexy. While then, at the same time, tanning beds are going out of control. We are schizophrenic.
Yep.
How do we deal?
I get it.
All right. What's going to happen with Trump, since I have you?
You know, so evidently, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, we're talking constitutional crisis at this point.
Right.
If he fires Mueller, that's a constitutional crisis.
Do you think that? I don't think Congress is going to do anything. I think
they're
a bunch of kid
somebody
dolls.
Tweeted out last year that the framers of the Constitution contemplated a president like Trump. What they didn't contemplate, and that's why they have impeachment. What they didn't contemplate is a Congress like the one that we have that is unwilling to act upon the powers that they have. So I don't know. And I think anybody who says they definitely know what's going to happen is talking out of their rear end, because this has just never happened
before. Yeah. So how did we get here? 866-801-8255. I feel like, history repeats itself because we're unwilling to make some changes, right? So it does. It repeats itself. I feel like we're in the third wave of Reconstruction. It's like slavery, Reconstruction, slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction. We had the Civil Rights Movement, then we had Black Power, and that was great. Then we had the Jeffersons. We moved on up, and then we went through Reagan, and then we came up out of that, and then we had Obama, and now we're going into the next wave of Reconstruction.
It's a pendulum.
It's so strange, and I feel like this needs to be the last wave, though. Like. When James Brown said "I'm black and I'm proud," and we had that whole age of Aquarius, and there's like all of the music and the culture kind of embraced this thing, and disco came, and then they hated disco. I think this needs to be the last wave.
The problem here is that there has never been a true reckoning with our racial and genocidal founding in history of this country. When you had the North defeat the South, you didn't have a reckoning that we need to stop slavery for the right reasons. It was still an economic decision from that standpoint. It wasn't a moral decision. It wasn't a legal decision. It was still an economic decision that this is going to be what's more feasible for us going forward. And then you had hundreds, if not thousands, of white supremacist Confederate statues going up under this guise of this is our culture and this is our heritage. Well, your culture and heritage is racism. And you don't need to celebrate that. And so when you don't actually address the root cause of the cancer that led to that violent outbreak in the first place, it's going to continue to fester and manifest in different ways. And it manifested at that time through the KKK. People forget, as recently as 85, 90 years ago, the KKK was 5 million strong in the United States. That was 5% of the U.S. population. 1 in every 11 white people was a card-carrying member of the KKK. And this is less than 100 years ago.
I'm not surprised.
And so until you can come to terms with that, you're not going to have any kind of reconciliation. It's going to continue to fester and grow.
I don't feel like America's going to come to terms with that.
Well, remember we talked earlier about it either happens by somebody pulling them out of the comfort zone or a tragedy. And that's what's frightening.
I'm at a place, Qasim, and we'll talk about Qasim Rashid, where I feel like they need to kind of feel what it feels like to not have us to kick around anymore. And I'm not saying we need to pick up and go somewhere because we built this country. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going a damn place. Yeah. But I think to invest in our community, because every day, I was talking with Dr. Jason Johnson yesterday, and he said something really profound about, when you're excellent, you're going to definitely find yourself in the crosshairs of, somebody's going to fire you, somebody's not going to, you got to be prepared to fight. And as he's saying that, I was like, why don't we have our own systems, build our own communities, build our own workplaces so that we have our own jobs and not depend on folk who may not like us, who probably inherently have a bias for our livelihoods. Like, that's got to be the commitment over the next 20 years in the Black community specifically, but throughout the global majority, other communities have figured it out, how to do that. And they do it well, where they employ their own kids. If you want to go to a mainstream school, as you did, you can, but you got a place you can go as well where people are going to take care of you and you will be able to have an economy.
No, I agree.
We don't have that.
No, we don't. We don't. And there's a number of factors for that, but and some of the factors are in our control. Some of the factors are out of our control right now. And I think one of the factors that's really out of our control right now is the fact that, you've got things like the school to prison pipeline. You've got an incentivized criminal justice system, a financially incentivized criminal justice system. Today, a California sheriff just said that it is financially more profitable for police to simply kill a suspect than to just to injure him.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it's also legally more profitable because it's harder. Dead men tell no tales. It's harder to have someone speak out against you when they're dead.
Replace suspect with slave, and you're back.
You got the same thing. Yeah. Do you send your kids to public school?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have a cultural place they go after school?
Yeah, the mosque.
Okay.
Yeah. And my mosque, God bless these folks, is very diverse. I mean, we've got Black, white, Latino.
But there's a
South
place
Asian.
where they get to learn about their culture and heritage on a regular basis.
And at home we speak Urdu as well. We don't speak English at home.
In your home you speak Urdu.
So my kids speak Urdu and English, and they're born and raised here. And
why was that important for you?
I mean, once you lose your roots, once you forget where you came from, you can't know where you're going.
866-801-8255. I'm gonna take a call. Or two, or three, or four. Let's go to Dawn. Dawn and Cali. Qasim Rashid is in the house. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Yes. How are you, Karen? I just wanted to call and thank you for your show and thank you for your guest. I work for the federal government, so I've come back into the building, but I just really appreciate you. I usually listen to you at lunchtime. I took a late lunch today, and you have really helped to empower me. I'm part of a group of women. We are starting a council for women and girls, so we're in the beginning of that, and I just wanted to thank you. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to you and to your show and to SiriusXM and to your team. It is wonderful. So have a great day.
Oh, you too, Dawn. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of our family. We can only sit here because of you. Like this show is an extension of everyone who listens to it. And you guys, make it possible for us to be here. And so Absolutely. Thank you. I think about what you're saying, and I know you're right. And then I also think culturally is part of the problem with the Black communities because we don't know where we I took a African ancestry DNA test, so I know where I'm from, but I can't go back there. It's war-torn. Liberia's got some issues right now, my original place of origin, and I don't know anybody there. Yeah. I can't put roots there. I can't go and claim some land and build something, and I don't, and they speak English, and they shouldn't. There should be a language that should be spoken there that I should learn. I don't know. It's So you have to make your own way here, and that's frustrating sometimes.
I mean, in that respect, my wife and I made a conscious decision. She speaks English obviously fluently, and we made a conscious decision that we want our kids to learn our parents' and grandparents' language, our mother tongue, and they can read Arabic. And, it's important to my kids that they read Arabic, the language of the Quran, to understand what the Quran says in its actual language, as opposed to somebody's interpretation of it as well.
Did you marry a woman within your culture?
I did.
Why?
And I tell her that's her one flaw, that she's too much of my culture.
Sure.
I think I think convenience is probably the honest answer.
That was incredibly honest.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean that's there's really nothing beyond that, but that's about it. Yeah.
Comfort,
maybe.
It was easy.
Maybe.
You said convenient, but also she understands you. She knows where you come from. She's from your particular. I'm a
Dia Muslim community. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was important to me from a faith perspective. But like I said, I mean, our community is very diverse. So the interracial, you got to come to one of our events one day.
I will.
Because interracial marriage is something that is looked positively upon. Now, I want to be clear. We got some issues within our own community too. So there are no sacred cows here. I'm not going to try to pretend we're perfect. We got issues. But, from the interracial standpoint, that's something that we put a lot of emphasis on. And it's something that I would love to create more awareness around, to show a model that actually works.
We're talking with Qasim Rashid. I asked you a question that you didn't answer.
What's that?
So I said, without your religion, who are you?
Without my religion, who am I?
If you stripped away that.
Yeah.
Who's Qasim?
I am somebody who is content if I know that I'm using every ability I have to make the lives of those around me better.
Okay. I believe that. Flint, Michigan's ending their bottled water program. They had a free bottled water program to Flint. The governor there, Rick Snyder, awful human being. I swear, if I lived in Flint, I'd be on his lawn. I'd be arrested every day because every day, as soon as I got out, paid my bond, I would be back on the governor's lawn with a bottle of, a gallon of Flint water, forcing him, trying to force him to drink it. And they'd have to arrest me. And I'd set up a tent there to have a tent city. Hopefully people would join me. I would make it a real severe protest. He said that the test levels are showing that the water is below is within the federal limits of what's the standard.
Yeah.
Really? Are you drinking and bathing in it, Governor Snyder? Why is he still governor? Why didn't they repeat? These are the things that frustrate me.
You want to talk about human rights violations?
Come on. This is ridiculous.
I mean, children had birth defects because of this.
Our listeners sent showers to kids that hadn't taken a shower in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So we sent them portable showers. We raised within a weekend because one of our listeners said that they teach at a school and the kids hadn't had a shower. So our listeners sent a couple of 300 showers to the kids. And but we are our brother's keeper.
Yeah.
That this man has the audacity to no longer, you can't give free bottled water because it's costing the state, the feds, $450 million for it. But you poisoned them.
Yeah. And I think 60% of the lead pipes still aren't replaced.
Right. Even though they have the grant, we're in conversations with Karen Weaver, who's the mayor of Flint. Yeah. But they got $100 million. But you and I know how that may or may not get
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a money issue. We're spending $250 million a day in wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria. $250 million a day. One day of that would have paid for all this if it was just done the right way.
But they don't care. And then Puerto Rico, 283 schools closed.
Yeah. And
283 schools.
The death toll too, right? It's over 1,000. The official is 1,065 plus 283 schools closing. It's mind-boggling that this is being,
It's American soil.
It is.
866-801-8255. We'll take a couple more calls. Let's head over to Mitch in Arkansas. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, good afternoon, Mrs. Hunter, and to your guests. I had two questions. I heard the gentleman, he said something about, and I understand that his religion believes that Jesus Christ is a prophet. However, the Quran accepts and teaches that Jesus was born of a virgin. They accept the virgin birth of Mary. So, I mean, that would make him a little bit more than just a mere man. However, I would just want to make a couple statements, and then you can follow up. I'll get off and listen. I would like to know, as far as the Muslims, the Arabs that are in this country, what are they together? Have they conglomerated to help the black community? Because they're definitely ciphering the very core of the civil rights. I hear you quoting it real good, and you're studying it. And what are they giving back to the black community? And guess what? If the Muslims were here, or the Arabs were here in the 20s, and I'm sure they were, none of them fought in the Negro army. They were indoctrinized like the poor white man, that they were better than that black man. They didn't fight in the Negro army, brother. The Spanish didn't fight in the Negro army.
Right.
I heard Ms. Hunter says all hands on deck. I'm under the contention to believe we were probably better off without all these hands.
All right. I mean, that's a thought. So, and Qasim, of course, you can answer, but let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Anybody that we invite on this show is part of the solution. We talk to people who are out there in the trenches doing the thing, doing the work. Our first line in the sand is humanity. That comes first. And Qasim Rashid is a human being of the utmost. What he's saying, I understand what he's saying, because some of the same things that I'm saying in terms of, but here's the thing, like, we don't need anyone to help. When I say on all hands on deck, I mean all black, like if you're a, part of this group or that group, like I'm willing to work with the NAACP, Rainbow Push, National Action. Anybody that's out there doing something, let's do it. Like, we don't have the luxury to fight and niggle over, like, I don't like how you wear your hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but go ahead. You can answer that.
So there are two parts, right? The first part about Jesus Christ, you're right. The Quran is the only other religious scripture aside from the Gospels that attest that Jesus Christ was indeed born of a Virgin Mary. And but to call that as something special, by that logic, Eve was created from the rib of Adam. So then, being created from a rib is, by that logic, even greater.
Can we not do this?
That's my point, right?
But this is what I was like. I want to remove doctrine, because I think that's where we get hung up on doctrine.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's wrong or not, but I think like that is right up there with being conservative and liberal. Like, we get stuck on these details.
The broader point I'm trying to make is that, these are questions of faith. If you want to have these discussions, we can have these discussions. But right now, I think what we're talking about is your second point about human rights and civil rights. And that's, I think, the key element here, that we can agree to disagree on dogma and still embrace one another and brother and sister. And that's I think, the message that a lot of people lose. Now, as far as, in the early 1920s and 2030, I want you to go read the Muslim Sunrise issues. Don't take my word for it. Google Muslim Sunrise, read those articles for yourself and come to your own conclusions. But that being said, again, among the Arab community as well, there unfortunately is racism against Black Americans, against African Americans. And you won't ever hear me try to defend that or justify that. It's there. And we need to do a better job of getting rid of it. Among the South Asian community is the exact same thing. And you calling it out, I think, is a good thing. I commend you on that. And I think more Arabs and South Asians need to do a more active job of calling it out within our own communities.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Accountability is important. Natasha in Massachusetts. And thank you, Mitch, for your call. Hey, Natasha.
Hey, Karen. Hi. I love you. There's no one in the world that I really agree with 100% of the time, but I do with you. I honestly feel you say everything I think, and you have such a breath of fresh air with you today. He is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm taking this course on anti-racism, and I'm trying to figure out why. I identify as a Black woman in America, not born here, born in England, family Jamaican, but I've been here for, damn near 40 years. So I go, why am I taking this course? I teach at a college. I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? I'm reading, and I'm reading all this theory. And at the end of the day, racism was always built out of economics. The haves, the have-not, just classism, keeping those out, building their agriculture. And today we have grown into this empire of, I don't like you because of the way you look. I don't like you because of your hair. I don't like you because you're too boisterous. Or I'm always told, back in the days I was aggressive, but now I'm passionate about the way I express myself, But the truth is, this is have-not, this is color line, and it needs to be said. So when you were speaking earlier about slavery, you were talking about racism, I was just in my car just like, yes, somebody understands me. I just think you're a breath of fresh air. So thank you, Karen, for all that you do. I think we're all change agents. I'm trying my best out here in Massachusetts, but thank you.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you for being a part of our family, Natasha. And I'm going to hold you over because I want you to comment on that. And there's a couple other callers that I want to get at when we come back. So. Forgive them, Father. Welcome back to the hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We're here with a breath of fresh air named Qasim Rashid. You know what? This is 126 Urban View. You can follow us on Twitter at SXM Urban View or at Karen Hunter. I'm on Instagram showing y'all pictures of powder blue pigeons and stuff. You can go on there at Karen Hunter Show. If you want to know, go to my Instagram page. I saw a powder blue pigeon. I noticed the sign of the apocalypse. Right, listen, either that or, Mike Tyson's doing something strange. I'm not getting into that. But, I would absolutely prefer to not talk about race ever. There's so many more interesting things to talk about. And quite frankly, who gets up thinking about race? None of us, until somebody gets shot and you're like, damn, was he unarmed? Yep. Was he black? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Or somebody goes, nigger, and you're like, what? Okay, we're doing that now? Okay. Or you're denying an opportunity, or somebody's looking at you it's outside in, not inside out. Racism is not inside out, except that we also now have this indoctrination into a system, which makes the whole school system suspect. Kids in Texas are taking these tests right now, and it's horrific. Teachers are complaining. And I'm wondering, because textbooks in Texas, what really, they get pushed out into the rest of the country. And as you mentioned, Qasim, you didn't even learn about the 13th Amendment not actually abolishing slavery. I was taught that Columbus discovered America. We know now that that's a lie. But, then you start to stack up these lies and you go, well, what the hell? So now we have a nation that distrusts everything. You got a president that talks about fake news. So now we can't even get information from places we should get information from that we can trust and rely on. And you have all of these message boards and Reddit and places where people can go and get, as you mentioned, or Google search something and get validated that way. But it's not true knowledge.
No.
So I just, you are a breath of fresh air because you're well read, but also because you're a human being first. And that's the thing that binds us. But then we got to tackle this race thing. We have to.
Yeah. Well, I also try to challenge myself by reading what the critical opposite response is. I think
there is such a thing as an opposite. So both sides have a point.
No, not on everything. On racism, there's no two sides.
Two sides.
That came out wrong.
Right.
No.
Come on now.
What I'm trying to talk about is when I was just studying history, trying to understand a perspective, or even when there's a political election, understanding both sides and let people represent their own perspective and then make a decision based off of that, as opposed to saying, isn't it true that black people are evil, right? I mean, that's the Google scholarship issue that people need to get away from. But on this race thing, I firmly believe that until and unless we ingrain in our youth this idea of service to humanity, the race thing is going to perpetuate. It's going to continue.
Because we don't see each other.
We don't see each other as human beings. We see each other
as a group.
Exactly.
Or as a cartoon.
Yep.
Let's go to the phones. 866-801-8255. The one and only Qasim Rashid is in the house still. I hijacked him. I kept him hostage here.
I love it.
Gerald in New Jersey. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. One thing that I've learned as an adult that I was never taught in school, it's not only race. Religion is the most dangerous killer that there's ever been on Earth. And I never realized that until I read a very good article about it. It's killed hundreds of millions of people. Today, it's killed the most amount of people today because there's wars in Afghanistan. The continent of Africa, they constantly kill Christians and they constantly kill Arabs and Muslims. And nobody realizes how dangerous religion is. The Holocaust, we've had every war in the world has basically come from religion. World War I, World War II, all these wars, the Middle Ages, they were all started by religion. And if you think about it, I don't practice anymore, but I was a Catholic. I'm still a Catholic, I guess. But
no, you're not.
This is the wealthiest institution in the world, and there's people.
I actually agree with you. I do.
$100 billion.
I agree. Okay, you can stop talking because I agree. I'm actually, after I come back from our tour, gonna really delve into religion. Religion, I'm putting up air quotes, not spirituality, not a relationship with God, not a oneness with with humanity, but religion, which has been used to justify slavery and a host of other things, and the Crusades. And I mean, there've been several, people use things. Constantine changed our whole damn calendar. We got Christmas. Y'all celebrating a Christmas tree and a Santa Claus because somebody realized the power of this new Christianity that was burgeoning. And let me see how I can turn this into a thing. I don't know why the Vatican is such a font of wealth and power and money, and why those priests can't marry. Oh, I do, because you don't want to pass that wealth down to other people. It's all systems, but this is what we talk about. Our school is a system that we need to start to really break down and question and challenge. But if we do that, that would kind of crumble society, wouldn't it? Well, am I in dangerous waters here? Even asking the question, Qasim?
No, I think we need to figure out what the strategy has to be, and the strategy can't be a dynamic shift overnight, because People don't get sick overnight. Cancer doesn't develop overnight. And if somebody has a tumor, you just take a scalpel and chop it out, you're going to kill the person. You got to surgically remove it. And cancers of racism and religious fundamentalism. I don't believe religion is a root cause of these issues. I think it's fundamentalism and extremism, and religion can be hijacked for that. Because
that's what I was saying, and asking you, what are you without your religion? Because I think a lot of us, because we do something in such a rote manner, we pray, we do this, we go to the east, we do these, we say these words, Hail Mary, full, if you got your rosary stations. I was raised in a Catholic church. Sure. I went to Catholic schools as a kid, raised in a Baptist church, but they're rituals that have nothing to do with relationship that we follow. And then you say, if this happens, you're going to go to hell. And if that happens, you go to heaven.
No, I think you're talking about dogma. I would still put dogma in a different camp than a person's personal faith. I mean, what drew me to Islam is the separation of these two things. That my faith is personal. Nobody has any right to interfere on that. But service to humanity, that's universal. That's universal. And everybody has a right to tell you.
If we focus on that.
And that's the element.
Do what you do. But
we flipped it.
Right.
We flipped it. We got people focusing on faith and ignoring service to humanity. So we got it all backwards.
And then calling themselves whatever.
Yeah.
Which is a contradiction. Yeah. But this is why, I'm irreverent. We play a song. It's not called Jesus is a light-skinned dude, but that's what I say. And then there's another song that we just the Clark sisters, and I think there's a song about Jesus, and I say Snotty knows Jesus, and people were like, oh my God, no, I'm not gonna get struck down. These are words, and I'm really trying to tell you that you're rooted in something that's not real. Like the relationship is what's important, not whether or not I make fun of,
I'm launching a new nonprofit called the Peace Project. That's going to be going live very soon. And the purpose of the Peace Project, it was conceived on this idea that there needs to be a better way to respond to hate groups and how they're driving our society apart. We want to use scholarship, we want to use policy, and most importantly, we want to create a social movement of young people to be able to come together, stand across race and religion and lifestyle, and build a coalition against these hate groups to prevent these groups from getting more influence and power and proliferate in the future. Stay tuned. Email me, tweet me. I'll get you involved. I'd love to have you be part of it.
Man, I'd love to be a part of that. Let's go to the phones. 866-801-8255. Qasim's in the house. I'm going to keep having these conversations with people because that's part of the thing. Relationships, whether it's with God or with a human being, got to have it. Got to have it to know it. Got to have a relationship. And I'm not saying physical. Anyway, Scooter in Mississippi. I'm going to be in Mississippi. Turn your radio down, Scooter. I'll be in your... Did y'all tell him to turn his radio down? Scooter. All right, turn him down a little bit because Scooter is hard of following instructions, basic instructions, which probably means he's not an avid listener of the show because our listeners usually do follow instructions. They usually do kind of can understand when you say turn your radio down. They get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try Scooter again. Let's try him again. Nope, I still hear myself. Scooter, you're challenged. I'm going to move on. Put him on hold. I want to go back to him. He says he's a Trump supporter. That's the only reason why I want to go back to him because I'm about to light his ass up. I cannot wait. I hope he heard that in delay. All right, put him on hold. Marie in Tennessee. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Hello. Yeah, he hung up. He got scared. Scooter, you're a scaredy cat. You're a coward. Call back. 866-801-8255. Don't be scared. I will light your ass up. But if you have receipts, look, even Nick Cannon got me to bow down. I was like, oh, Nick Cannon. Hey, Marie, what's up?
Mary.
Oh, Mary. Okay. Mary?
Yes, this
is
Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hello, Karen. I want you to know that I enjoy your show. I have Sirius Radio only because of you and Joe Madison. I heard earlier in the show what seemed to be some attacks, and I just want you to know there are more of us who appreciate you than want to attack you. So just be encouraged. You're doing something right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Mary. I love you. Thank you. And Joe Madison and I are a good reason to keep Sirius XM. I ain't mad at that either. I will also say though, these airwaves can be a bully pulpit. So, with to whom much is given, much is required. I don't know if that is in the Quran anywhere, but it's in the Bible. And sometimes I forget that, you get in your feelings because you're human, or you act out of your own emotions or your own frailty as a human being, and you forget that this microphone, these airways, being able to reach millions of people every day is a gift and a blessing. And so I don't take it lightly. And when I step on that, I should be admonished. So I'm going to admonish myself, but I also call on our listeners. Like I want every day to do good. If I fall short, please accept my humble apology, because it's not the goal. The goal is to ask us to question and challenge everything that's in our lives so that we can reach a point of truth, our own truth, not somebody else's version of the truth that we've been taught or that someone told us, but a truth that is immutable. And that's where I want to go with this show.
Love it. I couldn't agree more.
All right, Scooter's back. All right. Did he turn his radio down? Did y'all make sure the radio's turned down? All right, Scooter, and in my humpback, I. No, that's wrong. In my crooked letter. Yeah, that's what it is. The crooked letter, humpback, I. Hello, Scooter. Hello.
You got a real smart mouth.
I do. It is very smart. Wait, hold on. It's extremely smart. My mouth and the rest of me as well. You should see the rest of me. It's just as smart as my mouth. Oh, my God. That was it? You called to tell me my mouth was smart? Go ahead.
You got a smart. I'm a truck.
We did this already. Give me something new in the smart mouth. You're a truck driver. Go ahead.
The best president this country has ever had.
Okay.
What?
That's it?
And you need to stop with all your fancy talk, talking all that yittity yang and all that. And, you need to respect the white man, white power.
Okay.
You are a sad, strange little man.
I think he's like a comedian, right?
Kiss.
No. I never want anyone like that kissing my ass, Smiz, because that means his lips would have to touch me. I don't want that. So, Scooter, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So why are you angry?
Why am I angry?
Yeah.
Because I don't like the way you talk.
So stop playing, because you sound like a caricature. There's not, like, real people don't call up radio shows and do that. That's like not even, you sound fake. You sound like a troll. Like, why are you trolling?
Oh, I'm a troll?
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a troll. Because I disagree with you, I'm a
No,
troll.
you're a troll because you're a troll. Disagreeing with me just means you're stupid. But, those two things can both be true. Okay.
Well, let me tell you something.
Nope, you ain't telling me nothing. Hang up on him. You lose. That's right. You ain't telling me a damn thing. I'm sorry, Qasim, you had to see that.
No.
And it could have been a lot worse for him. I'm only on my best behavior because, you call me to be a better person. But, yeah.
No, we call each other,
because a lot of other things have been said to Mr. Fake-ass Scooter calling up trolling with some bull crap. That was an act. Like, he can't even have a real dialogue.
No, he's not looking for dialogue.
Fake accent and all that.
And so what I do, I give a TED Talk on this, too. I call it collateral education. That the troll may not learn, but the people listening will.
What are they going to learn? That people are stupid? That they call it up, just talking out of the left side. I'm a truck driver. Like, you have no receipts. It's just like,
he's looking for
attention?
Yeah.
What kind of publicity? You got a fake name, Scooter. Like, that's just like Bubba.
Yeah.
Basically, Jethro, Bubba, Scooter.
At all.
You're from Mississippi, probably not. Let me see. That's a 310 area code. What is that? Cali all day long? Scooter, I got you. I got your number, baby. Yeah, so I'm like, get out of here. All right. But it speaks to something, though.
Yeah.
People want to shut us up.
Yeah.
They literally, physically, they want us to be quiet. Because why? Because something must be moving in the universe.
People project out what they're feeling internally. He's feeling intimidated, so it's the fight or flight response. He's trying to fight back and over-intimidate you in response to make sure that you don't threaten his authority or you don't challenge him or question his ability to be alpha male. No pun intended.
What's an alpha male?
Well, not that, but what that guy thinks he is.
What is that? What is that, Qasim? We're going to have to re-examine a whole lot of things in this country. And I look forward to working with you and your mission. I know you're part of our family here. We're going to get this right. I feel like it's going to happen in this generation, in our lifetime. We're going to see people come together. That pendulum has swung to a place where when it comes back, it's going to autocorrect in a place where we're all going to see one another as brother and sister. And, people like this gentleman, and I'm going to say gentleman because I think, even it's fear is what I'm listening to. Somebody that's really afraid of losing something that he never had.
Yeah.
Power that you never had.
That's exactly right.
Dominion that you never had. Like the true power that you're looking for, Sir Scooter, fake name, Mississippi Troll, is within you that you have to cultivate, but you haven't. You're like that baby bird I talk about. Somebody helped you out of your egg, and now your neck is weak.
Yep.
And you have no ability to feed yourself or to educate yourself because you are damaged.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the thing we don't do to each other. We got to lift each other up and help each other to get strong necks.
Yeah. Well, that's where those relationships really matter. And one story I tell a lot that was really meaningful for me is speaking at a conservative Christian church. One of the people that I spoke to came up to me afterwards and said, "Look, I have to apologize to you." I said, "Well, what are you apologizing about?" He goes, "I joined the military after 9/11 for one reason alone. I wanted to kill as many Muslims as possible." And this was in 2014. He's like, "For the last 13 years, I have wanted to kill Muslims. You're the first Muslim I ever met. I need to say I'm sorry because I didn't even know what I was hating against this whole time." Those relationships, Karen, that's the difference. That's what matters.
I love you.
I love you too.
Qasim Rashid, you can follow him. We tweeted out everything in his book as well. Please follow him. He's a great guy to follow, actually. He puts out, I actually steal a lot of his stories and I retweet them. I don't give you credit, but I retweet, so then they know where I got it.
Hey,
you know,
education is expanded by sharing. I love it.
Qasim, like awesome. QASIM as in Mary, Rashid, RASHID.com at Muslim IQ because he's got a high one. Thank you for being here today, brother.
Thanks for having me.